My name is Linda Boss, and I'm from the Sterling Grace Brethren Church in Sterling, Ohio. My parents took me to the First Brethren Church downtown Sterling when I was about 5 or 6 years old, and I went to that church all my life until we moved up here. And one Sunday at the old church, I decided I wanted to be baptized, so I told the pastor, and he set it up for the next week and never asked me no questions if I was ever made a decision, never asked me that. So I got baptized, and then we moved up here, and I held offices in both places and served in the church. And but towards the end, when we didn't have a pastor, I wasn't too faithful. So one day, Pastor Don Farner come to my house and on a Friday, and he said, Linda, I think you need to be in church on Sunday. And I said, why? And he said, we have a man coming to candidate, and he said, you're going to love him. I said, okay, I'll come and listen to him. And I came on Sunday, and there was Pastor Jim Rose, and wow, I came every Sunday then, and they were living in Pickerington at the time and couldn't sell their house and were commuting for about 6 months. And my sister and brother-in-law approached me one day if I ever thought of asking them to move in with me till they sold their home. And I said, that would be fine, but I know they're not going to do it. So that was on Sunday. They talked to them, and on Wednesday they came back with an answer that they would move in. And God had that all planned out beforehand. It had to be Him. They didn't have a very easy life living with me for 7 months. We had some rough times, and I wasn't the most lovely person to be around many times. And one time in particular, we were having dinner, and a conversation came up, and I became very negative and really down, and I upset Patty so bad that she went to the car and she cried. And the pastor asked me at the table, he said, Linda, are you sure you're really saved? And I thought, how dare you ask me that question? But deep down I was crying out that I needed some help. So nothing was done yet. We went to a couple concerts together, and all they talked about all evening was, if you died tonight, do you know if you would go to heaven? And that just bothered me, and every Sunday the pastor closed the service with, if you were to die today, do you know for sure that you would go to heaven? And I didn't know. One night they invited me out to their home, and pastor started sharing scripture verses with me. I knew them all, and he said, I'm going to pray. He said, I can't make the decision for you, and Patty can't make the decision. It's something you have to do. So he started praying, and I knew what I wanted to do, but I thought he was never going to get done praying. When he got done, I said, Lord, I know now that I've never done this before, and right now at this very moment I want to invite you to come into my heart and into my life, and I need you to forgive my sins. And when I did that, there was the most wonderful peace just swept over me. That was January 5th on a Thursday night at 6:45 p.m. was when I accepted the Lord, and it's been wonderful ever since. And then I knew what God's plan was all about. He brought them into my home and into my life and led me to the Lord, and